in a remote African village where the sun blazed mercilessly upon the parched earth. There lived a young girl, named Fatima. She was just 10 years old, her laughter still echoing through the dusty alleyways as she played with other children. But her innocence was about to be shattered, for in this unforgiving land, tradition and poverty conspired to alter her fate. Fatima's family, like many others, struggled to make ends meet. Their meager crops barely sustained them, and hunger gnawed at their bellies. The village elders whispered of a solution, a way to lift their family out of destitution. It was a desperate choice, one that would forever alter the course of Fatima's life. Abdul, a wealthy merchant with salt and pepper hair and a hardened gaze, had cast his eyes upon Fatima. He was a man of means, his pockets lined with gold coins from distant lands. But his heart was as barren as the cracked earth beneath his feet. Abdul saw in Fatima an opportunity, a child bride who would secure his legacy and ensure his wealth passed down through generations. And so, on a scorching afternoon, the village gathered under the ancient baobab tree. The air hung heavy with anticipation, and Fatima's heart raced as she stood beside her mother. Her small hands trembled, and her eyes darted between the faces of the elders. She wore a faded blue dress, its hem brushing the dust, and her hair was braided with wildflowers. Abdul, dressed in flowing robes, approached. His eyes bore into Fatima's, assessing her like a merchant appraising a priced camel. Her parents, their faces etched with sorrow, nodded in agreement. The deal was struck. A dowry of goats and millet exchanged for their daughter's future. Fatima became Abdul's bride. Her childhood vanished overnight, replaced by the weight of womanhood. The wedding feast was a blur of colors and music, but her stomach churned with fear. Abdul's house, a grand structure with walls of sun-baked clay, became her prison. The courtyard echoed with her footsteps as she moved from room to room, her heart pounding against her ribcage. Abdul was a stern man, his touch rough and demanding. He expected her to cook, clean, and bear his children. Fatima's dreams of her playing in the fields evaporated like morning dew. Instead, she learned to endure the bruises, the nights spent alone, the whispers of the other waves who shared her fate. But Fatima was no ordinary child bride. Beneath her fragile frame beat a spirit unyielding. She listened to the wind rustling through the palm fronds, and it whispered secrets of defiance. She stole moments when Abdul was away, teaching herself to read by tracing her fingers over the faded pages of a discarded Quran. Her escape began with a stolen letter, a crumpled note hidden in the folds of her dress, written by a sympathetic neighbor. It spoke of a distant village where women were free, where they danced under moonlit skies and laughed without fear. Fatima clung to that hope like a lifeline. One moonless night, she slipped through the courtyard, her bare feet silent on the sand. The desert stretched before her, its vastness both terrifying and liberating. She ran, her breath wrecking the stars. Her only witness, the wind carried her prayers for freedom, for a life beyond the confines of Abdul's wall. Fatima reached the neighboring village, her heart pounding. The women there welcomed her, their eyes filled with compassion. They taught her to weave baskets and sing songs of resilience. She shed her old name and chose a new one, Nia, meaning purpose. Nia's journey was far from over. She became a beacon of hope, rallying other child brides to resist. Together, they whispered courage into the night, their voices rising like flames against the dark. They vowed to break the chains that bound them, to reclaim their stolen childhoods. And so we saw the tale of Ania, the child bride, spread across the desert like wildfire. Her courage ignited a revolution, and the winds carried her name to distant lands. She became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the strength that lies within even the most fragile hearts. But Nia knew that her fight was not over. She dreamed of a day when no child would suffer as she had. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows across the dunes, she vowed to keep running toward a future where love, not fear, would shape her destiny. Stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to like and subscribe.